When the car came crashing, my boyfriend Liam instinctively shielded the girl in the back seat, moving towards the impact from where I was in the front passenger seat. When the rescue team rolled up, he asked them to save her first. Her hand was stuck, she was an artist, and if her hand got messed up, she would be too. Meanwhile, metal bars pierced through my collarbone, blood draining fast. In my last moments of being awake, a nurse was frantically looking for my family to sign some papers, while Noah gently comforted Sophia, who had a busted wrist. As the nurse handed him the pen, he frowned. I'm not her family. Later on, I managed to break things off with Liam, like I wanted, but he came running back, almost wild, telling me, "We're getting married. I swear I'll only treat you right from now on." It had been 6 months since I was discharged. Liam, who always cared about how things looked, came to pick me up looking rough. He said, "You're out of the hospital just in time. These days, Sophia's moving, and you can help too." I hesitated and told him, "I can't lift heavy stuff now. I need to rest." But it was like he didn't hear me. He said, "I didn't ask you to move things. Just see what you can do." I hadn't even gotten home yet before he took me straight to Sophia's new place, right next to his. When Sophia saw me, her face turned sour for a sec, but quickly switched to surprise. Maya, you're out?" I was wondering why Liam left in such a rush with the food half cooked. "You came just in time. Come on, let me show you around my house." She excitedly showed me the decor and layout of her home. When she opened the closet, I immediately saw Liam's clothes hanging on half of the wall. She quickly shut the door, looking flustered, and awkwardly tried to change the subject. "Sophia, I wasn't interested in watching your poor performance. I'll head to the kitchen to see if there's anything I can help with." Liam was in the kitchen with a few friends, wearing a pink bunny apron, skillfully stir-frying in the pot, while the other two were assisting. They were all pampered young heirs, with intimidating titles under their family businesses. I remember 6 months ago, Liam couldn't even find the hood switch. Turns out, no matter how fancy the title, when it comes to love, you gotta get your hands dirty. They were chatting casually. "It's all thanks to Sophia. She's got Liam wrapped around her finger. She turned him into a top chef. Maya, you've never tasted her cooking, have you?" "What are you saying about Maya? She's just Liam's simp. She doesn't deserve to taste it. It's pretty pathetic, really." Liam just smiled and didn't join in the trash talk, nor did he explain. I had been with Liam for 3 years, during which he'd mentioned breaking up countless times, but I never agreed, which made his friends even more arrogant than him. Of course, it was my fault. Besides being Liam's fiancé, I was also his company's chief secretary. People looked down on me. After all, the relationship between a female secretary and a CEO was always a bit shady, but between Liam and me, it was crystal clear, a contractual relationship. 5 years. I fended off admirers for him. He gave me money, both of us taking what we needed. I didn't agree to break up because if I ended the contract early, I wouldn't get the expected amount. Not long after I was discharged, there was a big collaboration project at the company. When I called Liam for a meeting, he was pulling his hand away from Sophia's head, resting on his desk, asleep. Sophia is 22 years old. From a certain angle, she looks like me when I was 22. The tenderness in Liam's eyes hadn't faded yet, but when he turned to me, that tenderness turned into annoyance. Lately, he'd been getting irritated with me a lot. "Let's talk outside." He deliberately lowered his voice, like he was scared of waking her up. Half an hour into the meeting, he was there physically but seemed distracted. Midway through, he got a call from Sophia. I was sitting next to him, and the voice from the other end was loud enough. "Liam, it's raining outside, and I can't get a cab." Liam was about to get up when I grabbed his hand. "CEO Liam, this meeting is crucial. This collaboration took me half a year to set up, and I value it a lot." He sat back down, but his brows stayed furrowed. When he was passing a proposal to the marketing department, his phone rang again. Glancing at it, he told me, "The decision for this collaboration is on you." After saying that, he stood up. I subconsciously grabbed his sleeve. "CEO Liam." He quickly avoided my hand, looking at me coldly, and said, "I've got urgent stuff to handle. Give me the car keys." After he left, everyone's eyes shifted to me. I pretended not to notice their curiosity and kept going as if nothing happened. Let's continue. As I left the company, it was pouring rain. and I couldn't find a cab. I had to call Liam. It took a while for the call to go through. His voice was a bit breathless. "What's up?" I hesitated for a sec, then honestly said, "It's raining too hard, and I can't find a ride." He interrupted, "Maya, I'm busy. You can call the driver yourself." With that, he took a sharp breath, and the call ended abruptly. I knew that tone, and I knew he was busy with Sophia. Now lost in thought, a gray sedan pulled up in front of me. The guy in the driver's seat turned slightly towards me. Getting in, seeing him made my heart skip a beat. At the same time, Liam's driver also rushed over, holding an umbrella as he got out. "Maya, CEO Liam asked me to pick you up." Glancing at Noah, who was smirking and prepping to leave, I politely declined the driver. "Thanks, I'll ride with CEO Noah." Noah raised an eyebrow in surprise. Noah and Liam are cousins, kinda cool with each other, but because of family ties, they had to interact. The rain was too heavy, visibility was poor, and what was usually a half-hour ride took Noah an hour. When we reached the entrance of my building, the rain mysteriously stopped, and the vibe in the car went silent. I politely thanked him and asked, "You're back? Leaving again this time?" He suddenly glanced behind me, and following his gaze, I saw Liam leaning against the car smoking, with a dark and mysterious look. After Noah left, Liam grabbed my arm and roughly pulled me towards the building. I snapped back at him. "Liam, have you lost it?" Through gritted teeth, he said, "Maya, don't forget I'm your man." Sophia's place wasn't close to mine, and I wondered how fast he drove in this weather to get here. I didn't invite him inside, just said, "Nothing's up, you can go back." It was the first time I talked to him in such a cold tone, and he didn't move for a while. When he finally spoke, his tone softened. "Maya, can we stop fighting all the time? It's a holiday the day after tomorrow. How about I take you out to chill?" I just wanted him to leave quickly, so I agreed right away. We didn't talk all day the next day. On the third day, as I was going downstairs with some stuff, his car was already parked by the roadside. He came over to help with the things, and I naturally went to open the passenger door, but the window suddenly rolled down, revealing Sophia's innocent face. She said, "Maya, I feel dizzy in the back. Can I sit in the front seat?" I was taken aback and looked back at Liam, who calmly said, "Let her sit in the front. She's young. Take care of her." I nodded. "Okay." Liam slightly furrowed his brows, pursed his lips into a thin line, looking almost angry. This road trip had 3 cars in total, with Liam's car in the middle and 2 guys I hadn't met before in the back. They were pretty chatty, and we quickly got along. Sophia in the front passenger seat also joined in, saying, "I'm so jealous of Maya. She can make friends quickly with anyone." Liam's face seemed to darken even more. Occasionally, he would glance at the back through the rearview mirror, and a few times our eyes met. Each time, his expression grew a bit more somber. The lead car was driving fast, and Liam couldn't catch up. When we were stuck at a traffic light, he suddenly slammed the steering wheel hard, looking visibly agitated. I ignored him and kept chatting with the guy next to me. Just as I was about to exchange WeChat contacts, Liam slammed on the brakes, stopping the car in the middle of the road. The car behind couldn't avoid it and hit his rear end. He didn't show any signs of checking the car, just turned to me with an icy look, saying, "Maya, are you nuts? How can I drive when you're talking so loud? It was kinda unreasonable of me." The 2 guys quickly tried to defuse the situation. "Liam, why don't you go check how bad the car is?" Sophia chimed in. "Yeah, Liam, go see how bad the car is first." Liam sat there unmoving, just stared at me coldly. "Get out of the car." Seeing my lack of response, he impatiently furrowed his brows. "Maya, get out. Go sit in someone else's car." Sophia glanced back at me, a hint of schadenfreude in her eyes. I felt pretty awkward in this situation, but just as I got out of the car, I happened to see Noah's car parked nearby. Liam sounded surprised. "Bro? What are you doing here?" Noah grumbled. "Wasn't this a self-driving trip? Why are we dragging our feet?" As he gestured for me to come over, I was about to go when Liam suddenly ran out of the car and grabbed my arm. "Sorry, Maya, I was rude earlier. Get in the car." Maybe sensing Liam's bad mood, Sophia stayed silent the whole trip. By the time we reached our destination, it was already night. When we were assigning rooms, Sophia linked her arm with mine. "Since it's just the 2 of us girls, let's share a room." We agreed to wake up in the middle of the night to hike up the mountain to watch the sunrise. After a short nap, I woke up to hike up the mountain to watch the sunrise. After a quick nap, I woke up to find Sophia gone from the room. Checking the group chat, I saw that a group had already gone up, including Liam and Sophia. Liam's buddies had intentionally posted a photo of him carrying Sophia on his back. The leading lady quickly clarified in the group chat, "Guys, don't spread rumors. Maya might have misunderstood. I sprained my foot." I laughed, changed into more casual clothes, and as I opened the door, I bumped head-on with Noah coming out from the opposite side. I lowered my eyes and walked downstairs, with him not too far behind. I never told anyone about my relationship with Noah. He was Liam's cousin, my high school classmate, and my ex-boyfriend. Our breakup was pretty normal. His mom offered me money, and I happened to need it. Because of me, he cut ties with his family, but shortly after I took the money and broke up with him, his mom fell seriously ill, and they traveled abroad for treatment. Since then, I hadn't heard from him. Luckily, his mom didn't think much of me and never mentioned me, so for years I could smoothly appear by Liam's side. I quickened my pace but still couldn't shake off the guy behind me. At that moment, it was just the two of us climbing up the mountain. When we were halfway up, it suddenly started raining, so we had to take shelter in a nearby pavilion. Leaning against the railing, he lit a cigarette and quietly watched the rain pouring down. He asked me, "Have you been doing well these years?" I replied, "Mm-mm." He sneered, crushed the cigarette butt, and said, "I haven't been doing too great." I stayed silent, and suddenly he leaned in closer, his warm breath sending shivers down my spine. "Maya, you've got to come to hell with me. What are you two talking about? Everyone's waiting for you upstairs." As I turned around, I saw Liam standing in the rain holding an umbrella, his eyes colder than the wind. Without waiting for me to speak, he forcefully pulled me to his side, his grip on my wrist like a vice, making me slightly frown. He handed Noah an umbrella. "Bro, you take this one. The rain has eased up. Let's quickly go meet them." Throughout the journey, he kept a stern expression, and I didn't speak either. Eventually, he let go of my hand and instead wrapped his arm around my waist. Not used to such closeness with him, I reminded him. "CEO Liam." He glared at me fiercely, his voice low. "Shut up." As we passed by a restroom, he dragged me inside, and as soon as we entered, he leaned down to kiss me. Instinctively, I turned my head to avoid the kiss. This clearly pissed him off. He firmly gripped my jaw, forcing me to look into his eyes. "Maya, do you despise me?" I didn't say a word, but his emotions got even more agitated. He said, "Do you know how ugly you looked standing next to my cousin just now?" "What? Now you want to get close to my cousin again? He doesn't like you, so give up on that idea." Since we were out to have fun, I didn't want to argue with him. As I tried to walk away, he grabbed my arm tightly. I suddenly felt annoyed, shook off his hand, and said, "Liam, you've gone too far." He sneered in anger. "Too far? If you despise me that much, then let's break up." I couldn't even count how many times he'd used this line before. As usual, I didn't leave. I just turned back to look at him. He stared at me intently, looking kinda nervous, but that nervousness vanished once I met his gaze. He reached out his hand to me. "So if you don't want to break up, then—" I interrupted him. "Fine, let's break up." Liam was clearly shocked, like he didn't expect me to agree. I turned and pushed the door, only to see Noah stumble a bit as he was about to enter, probably caught off guard by my sudden move. I sincerely apologized to him. "Sorry." He glanced at me, didn't say anything, handed me the umbrella, and walked away. I followed behind him, noticing that he slowed down his pace every now and then, waiting for me to catch up before moving forward. By the time we reunited with everyone, it had already been an hour. It took a while for Liam to catch up, exuding a hostile vibe. Seeing Noah and me standing together, he grabbed my hand and started walking downhill. I didn't really enjoy making a scene, so I didn't resist. Noah, who had been chatting with friends with his back to me, suddenly turned around saying, "Weren't we here to watch the sunrise?" Liam was wary of this cousin. In that brief pause, Sophia, who had been overlooked, also spoke up, sounding a bit hurt. "Liam, what's up with you?" Liam glared at me, and when he finally spoke to Sophia, his tone softened. "Nothing." Sophia continued, "I heard that area is the best viewpoint. Liam, will you come with me to check it out? Liam didn't answer right away. Sophia then asked me, Maya, can I borrow Liam for a few minutes? I smiled. Sure. Liam, however, looked like he wanted to strangle me. I didn't see the two of them until we were descending the mountain. When we finished packing up and were getting ready to head to the next spot, they came back one after the other. Sophia's lipstick had been reapplied, but it was a bit smudged, and there were traces of it below the waistband of Liam's light-colored pants. I was truly disgusted by these two. After the road trip, I hadn't been in touch with Liam, but I knew he spent most of his time helping Sophia decorate their new place. I figured he had probably accepted that our contract was over and felt relieved. That night, while working overtime on a project, I suddenly got a call from a collaborator. The conversation stumbled. Secretary Maya, the main entity of our company, has changed. We need to resign the contract. This collaboration was super important for my career plans, so I agreed without hesitation. The other person said, in the future, if you need anything, just go directly to CEO Noah. He wants to personally oversee this project. Just as I finished the call, Noah's phone rang. There are many things in this project that I need to see on site. To speed up the collaboration, the next day I took him to the project department in a neighboring province. Noah is even harder to please than Liam. I can't afford to offend him now. Our rooms were on different floors, and it was getting late. After checking into the hotel, I was about to head back to my room. I politely bid him farewell. I'll head back to my room first tomorrow. He glanced at his luggage beside him, then turned and walked away. I had to help him carry his luggage back to the room. As soon as I stepped out, I coincidentally saw Sophia and Liam coming out hand in hand from the opposite direction. Liam instinctively pulled his hand out of Sophia's hand and was about to speak, then saw Noah behind me. His expression immediately twisted. Maya, are you avoiding me? I reminded him with a smile. We've already broken up. He said, We haven't broken up. I was just joking. Noah interjected, Oh, but both she and I took it seriously. Liam visibly became agitated, rushed over to pull me, but was blocked by Noah. Noah said, Go inside. Lock the door. Liam's eyes were bloodshot with anger. He said, Maya, come out. I'll get you another room. The rest of his words were cut off by the door. I sat in the room waiting for Noah. Not long after, I heard another phone ring. This phone had only one contact, Sophia. She said, Sis, I followed your advice. They really broke up. I didn't respond. Sophia naturally didn't know that her trusted advisor was me, and Liam didn't know that his so-called true love was brought out by me. Noah still hadn't returned until late. He just called to tell me not to wait for him. I took a shower and came out to see dozens of missed calls on my phone. The WeChat icon also showed 99 plus messages. I opened it, and they were all from Liam. He seemed to be losing it, continuously sending me videos, hanging up and sending again, hanging up and sending again. Just as I was about to reply to him, another video call came in. It seemed like he didn't expect me to answer. Initially, his expression was a bit fierce, but after seeing me, he quickly put on a gentle look. He tried to sound casual. Why did you just answer? I answered truthfully, I just finished taking a shower. The smile at the corner of his mouth immediately froze. He asked, Why did you take a shower? What do you want to do? Is Noah with you? Before I could respond, he said, I've got something to handle at home now. I've sent a driver to pick you up. Come downstairs in a while. Got it? Don't stay there. I felt his current state wasn't right for talking. Just as I heard a knock on the door, I said, Liam, I'm here for work. I'll hang up now. He must have heard the knocking. His face instantly turned red. He said, Don't open the door, Maya. I'm begging you, really begging you. Don't open the door. Come back now. We'll go to the Civil Affairs Bureau early tomorrow to get our certificate. I'll take good care of you in the future. Okay, Maya? I'm begging you, really begging you. I didn't say anything. I just hung up. The one knocking on the door was the room service I had called, but I didn't have to explain to him, and I also sent his driver away. Later that night, the company's HR manager contacted me, speaking hesitantly. Secretary Maya, you're now suspected of stealing company secrets for Novatech Industries and need to come back to cooperate with the investigation. The situation escalated suddenly, and I left without even saying goodbye to Noah. Even though it was already early morning, Liam and several company executives were still waiting for me. After a brief chat, I realized this was all a setup by Liam to force me back. They didn't have solid evidence but still suspended me from my position and made me withdraw from the collaboration with Noah. I looked coldly at Liam following behind me. Can you stop causing trouble? This outcome was definitely different from what I'd expected. As if he didn't hear me, he said, I've already brought the household register. It's almost dawn. We'll go get the certificate at dawn. During this time, his mental state seemed to be deteriorating. Now his beard was unkempt, his face showing bruises, probably from when Noah hit him. Before I could speak, I saw Noah entering with another man from the doorway. His eyes had a faint shade of blue, probably also due to lack of sleep. Seeing me looking at Noah, Liam harshly grabbed my chin and turned my face back. Maya, don't look at other guys. The man next to Noah introduced himself. I'm the manager of the legal department at Novatech Industries. I'm here this time to discuss with your company about the defamation caused by your company, resulting in damage to our reputation. Liam frowned. Defamation? The man said, Our company received recordings defaming our company's unfair competition. If your compensation doesn't meet our expectations, we won't rule out legal action. Liam's face turned extremely ugly. He asked Noah, Are you really going to be at odds with me? Noah, who had been silent all along, seemed somewhat helpless. Liam, I'm not targeting you, but I can't ignore your sister-in-law's matter, can I? Due to Noah's intervention, Liam didn't keep causing trouble, but I ended up losing my job. Liam fired me, and Sophia replaced me. They say changing jobs is like climbing mountains. It's not easy for someone with an art background to switch to being a secretary. The day I went to handle my resignation procedures and ask Liam for my money, Sophia was also at the company, personally being guided by Liam on her tasks. Upon seeing me, Sophia ran over and grabbed my hand. Maya, you're back. I'm so dumb. I just can't learn. You're amazing. Liam sat in his chair without moving, looking like a stranger. I pulled my hand away. I have something to discuss with CEO Liam. You should leave first. She bit her lower lip, glanced back at Liam, and said, Liam. Liam forced a smile. You should leave first. The office was just the two of us. I got straight to the point. You're the one breaching the contract. Remember to transfer the penalty to my account. Liam lit a cigarette. Maya, now that you're back, let's get married. I can transfer all my assets to your name. I said, I haven't changed my account. His smile finally couldn't hold, and he snapped the cigarette in half. Maya, don't push me. I also smiled. CEO Liam, I've been here for so many years, I know some things about the company, and my patience only lasts for 3 days. Since breaking up with Noah, I've been keeping busy, and now being unemployed gives me a chance to take a break. I wasn't in a rush to find a job, but I registered as a substitute driver, taking up orders when I felt bored. One day, I picked up a client and arrived at a hotel, only to see Noah coming out with a group of people. He usually pays attention to his manners, staying elegant, but now standing among those people, he seemed out of place. He stood in the shadows of the night, our eyes suddenly locking. I hurriedly turned to get into my car. Unexpectedly, he walked towards me. The client, seeing him, was also surprised. CEO Noah. Noah told him, I'll have the driver take you. Facing Noah, I felt guilty. He wasn't someone who strayed from the norm, yet he had cut ties with his family for me, willing to do manual labor just to be with me. During that time, his palms were blistered from work, and he often had injuries on his body. Whenever I cried silently at night, he would turn over and hold me, comforting. Wife, don't cry. This is temporary. I won't let you suffer with me. Trust me, Shawana. So when he said something about going to hell with him, I didn't believe it. He wouldn't do that to me. He had also been drinking that night, initially leaning back in his chair without a word. I didn't pay him any attention until we were close to his building. There was a hint of mockery in his tone as he said, What, did Liam fire you? I knew he was upset, so I didn't engage with him and just went along. Yeah, Noah, what should I do now? I'm in a really bad situation. He glanced at me. You deserve it. I said, Should I go to Novatech Industries then? Noah sneered, You're dreaming? The next morning, still asleep, I got a call from Novatech Industries asking, Maya, are you available for an interview? Word quickly spread about my new job at Novatech Industries. Noah didn't give me any particularly complicated tasks, just helping him with errands and serving tea. In his mind, this was already a huge insult. Everyone in the three generations knew about my past with Liam, and soon his friends who favored Sophia started gossiping about me in the group chat. I didn't want to listen to their trash talk, so I simply left the group. As the workday was ending, Noah knocked on my desk. Come with me to a banquet tonight. It turned out to be a family banquet. Noah's family and Liam's family were both there. It was only then that I found out his parents had both passed away. I sat next to him, looking at his thin face, suddenly feeling a bit sorry for him. It turned out that when he said things weren't going well, it was really that bad. At the moment, he was talking with the elders, and I discreetly touched his hand. His words paused slightly, then he turned and held my hand, giving me a warning look. Liam arrived at that moment, just him. Seeing our hands intertwined, he instantly clenched his teeth. Liam's family didn't know about my relationship with Liam. His mom was speaking to Noah at the time, saying, all of that is in the past. Now that you also have a girlfriend, marry her sooner and settle down. Noah smiled and agreed. Liam's expression stiffened as he walked past me, and my right eyelid suddenly twitched a few times. Luckily, he didn't make any inappropriate moves the whole night. On the way back, Noah deliberately put on a cold look and said, "Don't overthink it. I just couldn't find anyone to act with me." His standards were really high. He always felt that this level of behavior was already a great disrespect to someone. I suddenly wanted to laugh and nodded. Yeah. He glanced at me, then fell silent. He dropped me off at my doorstep, watched me enter, then turned and left. Soon after, someone knocked on the door. Thinking it was Noah coming back to say something, I asked as I opened the door, "What's up?" I didn't expect to see Liam, reeking of alcohol, standing outside. He still had half a cigarette in his hand. Seeing the smile on my face that I couldn't hide in time, he coldly remarked, "You're quite something, Maya." I instinctively tried to close the door, but he pushed his way in. He seemed almost crazy as he pulled me into his arms. "I told you I don't agree to part ways." "Why should I make way for Noah now that he's back?" "What makes you think I don't know? You approached me in the first place to gather information about him. Now that you've used me, you're gonna kick me aside? That's not how it works. Have I treated you badly all these years? Wasn't the money I gave you enough?" Well, he had a point. As a boss, Liam was generous, and as a boyfriend, aside from his frequent cheating, he didn't have any other inappropriate behavior. He was unstable from drinking too much. When I pushed him, he fell to the ground. His eyes were red, he glared at me. "What Noah can give you, I can give too." I watched quietly as he ranted, then said, "How about I don't need that money anymore?" "You keep it, I don't lie," I told him. "I want to support Noah. I'm afraid he won't have a good life. I don't want to leave him because of money." My dad was a regular worker, and my mom was unemployed. When my grandpa fell ill and needed chemotherapy, my family sold our house and land but still couldn't gather enough for the medical and post-op expenses. We had taken out loans, but even from relatives and friends, we couldn't borrow any more money. At that time, all the money Noah and I earned was used to support my family. I mentioned breaking up several times, but he always responded coldly. So when his mom approached me later, I actually felt relieved because I felt Noah's life shouldn't be in such a mess because of me. Finally, I had a legit reason to let him go. After that, he disappeared without a trace, and I couldn't find him anywhere, so I had to turn to Liam. Then it seemed like Liam genuinely cared for me, and Sophia was my escape route. He slowly got up from the ground. "Maya, tell me, what am I to you?" I said. "If you leave now, you're my cousin. If you persist, then you're the stumbling block between Noah and me." During the 6 months I was in the hospital, Liam came to see me. He always came when I was asleep, leaving some light meals in takeaway boxes. When I asked him, he said he brought them from outside, but I knew he made them because takeout isn't that hard to eat. I was in pain every day, unable to sleep, so I knew everything, but I had to pretend not to know. Liam's tears fell to the ground without warning. He wiped his eyes fiercely, turned around, and started to walk away. When he reached the door, he glanced back at me. "Maya, even you don't know. I know what you're like when you're asleep. The first time I saw you wasn't at the company." My heart ached a bit. He had always known everything I knew. But isn't love exclusive? Can you love me and casually cheat with someone else? Leaving that aside, at least he had feelings for Sophia. although I didn't know if it was because she smiled similarly to me or if he wanted to prove or salvage something through this act of cheating. When I went to close the door, I saw Noah leaning against the railing, looking serious, lost in thought. I was surprised. "How did you get here?" His voice was low. "I was about to leave when I saw him coming. Afraid something might happen to you." So he must have heard our conversation just now. I awkwardly cleared my throat. Um, Noah suddenly pulled me into his arms. The embrace after 4 years didn't feel strange. It was like we were always meant to be this way. After a long while, he spoke. "Maya, you're such a wolf in sheep's clothing. But in the end, this wolf in sheep's clothing proposed to me." The video of Noah's proposal went viral on social media, becoming the standard for girls to demand a proposal from their boyfriends. I'm not someone who cries easily, but in the video, I cried uncontrollably, unable to stop, as if all the grievances he had caused me were pouring out. That night, Sophia messaged me on a secondary account. She said, "That bitch is getting married. Good for her, Liam deserves it. He deserves to love her in vain. He deserves to be tormented by her. He deserves to die." Since I agreed to break up with Liam, I hadn't replied to her messages, but she seemed not to care and treated me like a confidant. As I watched her emotions deteriorate, her words became more venomous every day. She said, "Liam is mine. If he dies, he should die with me. Whoever's close to him, I'll kill them a few days later." She said, "Liam hasn't come back for several days. What should I do? Teach me, I beg you, I can't be without him." I sent her one final message. When you choose to interfere in someone else's relationship, have you ever thought that what you obtain this way, you might lose in the same way? After finishing, I logged out of the secondary account. Not long after, news of Sophia stabbing someone with a knife surfaced. She had stabbed Liam's new girlfriend and was arrested for intentional injury, reported by Liam. I was picking out wedding favors when I saw Liam entering through the door, whom I hadn't seen in months. He seemed thinner than before, but it was clear he was trying to get his life back on track. I heard his new girlfriend was someone he was seriously considering marrying. It seemed like someone was taking care of him, and his condition seemed better than during the time we were together. He visibly paused when he saw me, and after noticing what I was holding, the light in his eyes dimmed once again. Neither of us greeted each other. He walked past me without a glance, and as he brushed past me, a warm breeze blew in from outside, carrying the scent of spring and dispersing some intangible things. As I left, Noah was already waiting for me at the door. Sitting in the driver's seat, he held a cigarette between his slender fingers, looking somewhat melancholic. I asked him, "What's wrong with you? Why the long face?" He didn't speak, just glanced behind me. With just that look, I knew why he was upset. I couldn't help but chuckle. "Noah, come on, let go of those things." "Why are you being so petty?" Noah gave me a stern look. "Get in the car." He had a stubborn personality, and I teased him on purpose. "You don't seem like the male lead, more like the second male lead who's always worried about the female lead being stolen away." It was a sunny day, the warmth of the sun shining down. The road seemed long, and I felt drowsy in the passenger seat. Just as I was about to fall asleep, something soft pressed against my lips. I opened my eyes to see Noah's thick lashes and handsome features. As the kiss ended, he playfully bit my lip, and then grunted, "Are you sure I'm the second male lead? I'm clearly the male lead who has returned, and this time, I'm going to reclaim everything that belongs to me."